Good morning, Twyla from Twyla's Totes. I hope you guys are doing okay today. It's kind of dreary here, but that's okay. It's just a few days before Christmas and I'm trying to get my sister's bag done. So if you're watching, to my sister, turn it off now. You can't watch this. It's your Christmas present. So I'll give you a second, turn it off, go away. We're going to talk about you. Okay, now that she's gone. Okay, today we are doing the Adena Shoulder Bag by Knotted Threads, and I did reach out to Shannon and ask permission to make this video, and she said it was okay. I have what I'm going to show you, my materials. This is, I already prepped everything. This is my main body, and see my little bag tag on there. Heartwood and Hide. If you haven't gone to Heartwood and Hide and got on their list to get your bag tags made, do it. They have so many beautiful colors to go with your bags. Okay, so this is my front and back panels, and we have, this is from Main Street Textiles, and the red is Red Scarlet from Mormino. This is my bottom, and you see I've already done my top stitching around there and put my purse feet on. And then for my other accent color, I have this beautiful Buttercup yellow from Sew Yours. Okay, and let me show you, I have these cute, I have the zipper pull. I'm using a Harry Potter one for her. She loves Harry Potter, so I've made her several bags, Harry Potter bags already, but she still loves them. Isn't that cute, the crest? It's her zipper pull for the inside pocket. And then I have this buckle that I got from Saya Swag. And I'm using, instead of making the strap bridge, I'm using hardware that I got at Endolove. But I think Saya has some now, and I think Mormino is carrying them now. So there's several places you can go to find. I put a new needle in, oiled my machine, got a couple bobbins wound so that we can get this going. And what I'm going to do is I'm turning to page, what is it, page 34 in the instructions, because I'm going to do the magnetic bridges first, because they need, I've got them interfaced, they need to be drying, because we're going to use some glue inside. So they need to be drying. And I want to give them plenty of time to do that. So let me get you down here where you can see, and we'll get going with this. Sorry, it's page 31 that all this starts. So we've got our two pieces. We're going to get a ruler and make some measurements. We're going to be using a lot of double stick tape in these, so be prepared. Okay, so make sure you check the pattern for your markings, because these are very important. And I think I'm going to use a regular pen. To make my mark a little bit darker. There we go. Because these are folded in at a certain way, and then we will stitch down. Get my other one. Okay, I've got my 3 lines drawn on here. Okay. Now we're going to put some double stick tape on these top edges up here. I'm just using 1/8 inch tape. We're going to put some across the top, longer sides here, and then right here on these shorter bits. You might need to get an alcohol wipe also, because like I said, we're going to be using quite a bit of double stick tape, and your needle might get sticky. So I'm going to grab one of those too while I'm thinking of it. In this pattern, it seems intimidating. It took me a while to wrap my head around it. Watched the videos, and I watched all the videos. Read through the pattern. But it's not when you take it slowly, one step at a time, and Shannon makes, her instructions are very, very good. Makes it really easy to follow along and not feel intimidated. Okay, now that we've got the tape on there, we're going to remove it from the side with the longer, because you'll notice there's a shorter straight edge here and a longer straight edge. Okay, and you need to pay attention to those edges. Okay, we're going to remove the tape from the longer straight edge, and then we're going to fold it down. Excuse me. We're going to fold it down to, which one is it? Okay, we're folding it down from here to this line here. Okay, and your interfacing, it should fold like right over your interfacing and meet that line. Okay, and then this little short edge should meet that center line there. Okay, let me find the long edge. On this one also. I'm using red thread. I thought that would be a nice contrast on these yellow pieces, and then it'll just match on the strap that I'm doing. Fold it over. That one meets there and there. Okay, got both of those. Now what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch along that folded edge up there, just the 1/8 inch seam allowance. Okay, now that we've done that, oops. Now we're going to remove the tape from the shorter edge, the shorter side. Okay, and we're going to lift up this piece that we just sewed down. Okay, we can lift this up, and we're going to tuck this shorter piece all the way in here to meet this line that we drew over here. Okay, and if it's too tight or whatever, just get it as close as you can to that line, and your short side should match up together. They should butt up against each other really nice. Okay, get the side in there good. And that's what we're looking at. Okay, well, let's do this side too while we're at it. we're going to top stitch on this other side also. Okay, so tuck that in to that line that you drew. Okay, and then just butt up your short edges together. Oops, hold on back a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we're going to hold this up out of the way and we're going to top stitch across that short edge now too, because we don't want to hit that. So I'm going to pull this up out of the way because I don't want to sew that down. Come on. Okay, we're going to do the same on the other one too. Okay, we've got both sides done now. And then we're going to do the next part. This is the part where we're going to need the glue. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Tapped on my mic. Okay, we're going to find the center of our pieces here. Okay. Find my centers. There. There. Okay, now we're going to grab our magnets. And you're going to need two sets. Or excuse me, one set. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, that's all squared up. So you're going to need the female piece. I'm using really thin ones. And a male piece. And 2 washers. Okay. Put this back in my drawer over here. And we're going to mark our, excuse me, like I said, we marked our centers, and we're going to use this washer to mark our lines for the prongs. Okay, now the next part, make sure you open this up on the back side before you cut through. Okay, open this up because you don't want to cut through all those layers. You just want to cut through in the center here. Okay, and I'm holding it with my fingers out of the way, and I'm just going to cut those lines. Okay, same on the other side. Open it up. Keep your fingers out of the way and your material because you don't want to cut through the back side pieces. Okay, and we'll cut our slits. There we go. Now we're going to install those pieces. It doesn't matter which one you put on which side. There we go. And this one over here. Okay, and we'll put the washers on the back. And then we are going to spread the prongs away from each other instead of hugging each other. This will cut down on the bulk from that. Oops, put that washer back on. There we go. Done. Now make sure you tuck them back in, the short side, long side on the outside. Okay, well, first, I'm going to put some glue in there to hold it down. Just going to go along in here. Tack that down. And then I'm going to put some glue right here to help hold this down. Okay, make sure my sides are butted up. There we go. And we're just going to use some of our clips to hold it closed until it dries. This is why I wanted to go ahead and get this part done so that this has plenty of time to dry before we attach it to the bag. Okay, I'll do that again. Tuck the short side in first, and then we will do the long side. Okay, I'm going to put the clips on here so that this can dry. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Let those dry really good. On the center one here. You can put some weight on it if you have something nice and heavy to hold it down. Okay, next step. Now we're going to go back to the beginning of the pattern. And we are going to start with our straps. Okay, so I'm going to get the outer straps, which is this piece and this piece. These are our outer straps. And I've got the foam and deck of the light down the center. And on this one we have the foam and placement for the strap keeper. And this is interfacing for the pin buckle. Okay, we need those, and we need our accent pieces. Remember, we have two mirrored sets of these. Okay, and we're going to work with, I guess it doesn't really matter which one we work with first, does it? No, because they're done the same way. But I'm going to work with the long one first, I think. And what I've done on the back side here is I've already drawn my seam allowance so that I have my point for reference. Okay? Let me get my pieces set up here so I know which is which. And we want these to be like that and like that. Okay, see how these have a little straight edge at the bottom? These are the pieces you want touching your inside piece. Okay? Yeah, I got myself confused there for a second. sure I've got, okay, put those aside for that one. There we go. Now we're going to take the, let me roll this up real quick and pin it, clip it so we don't have to worry with the whole length of this. There we go. Okay, we're going to start on the right side. Take our piece, and we're going to match up this straight edge up here, and we're going to clip it all the way down. Just use our clips. And you'll notice it doesn't match up all the way at the bottom. You will have overhang down at the bottom. Turn my clips around because I'm going to sew from the other side. Okay. There we go. We've got it clipped. I'm going to flip it over so I can see my marks from this side. Let me check my bobbin real quick because this wasn't a full one. Okay, we're still good. Still good. I'm going to change it in a minute though. I'm going to go ahead and change it because I know we're going to be top stitching here pretty soon. So let's get a fresh one. Nice full bobbin. There we go. Now we don't have to worry about it for a while. Okay. Okay, we're going to start down here at our point where these two meet, and that's where we're going to start our stitches. Down there in that point. There we go. And we're just going to follow on up with our seam allowance. I think I missed. Oh my goodness. I think I missed. I'm looking at the wrong one. Let me double check. I went through the wrong one. Let's see. No, it was the right one. No big deal. I'm going to start right up here where I left off. Just make sure you double back stitch there again. Okay. Done. Let me double check these stitches down here. We're good. Okay, we've done that side. Now we're going to do the other side the same way. Matching the top notch up there. And make sure you pull this piece out of the way because you don't want to accidentally sew that together. Okay, now I'm going to start up here at the top. At that mark. Okay, and I'm going to, even if I have to hand crank it down here, there we go. Got our stitches all the way down. Okay, see? Looks good. There we go. We've got that done, both sides. Okay. Then we're going to sew. I got glue on me. We're going to take the bottom piece here where we didn't sew. We're going to match, pull this up out of the way a little bit. Match up our bottom down here. Just so it stays straight. Okay, pull this out of the way, up out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew from this point, we're going to sew straight. Okay, just moving that out of the way. And we're going to hopefully meet up to that point. Okay. I'm going to mark this really quick because I want to make sure that I have my seam allowance correct on that part. It's just that these points, they're so pretty the way they come together, and I think that was the intimidating part for me that I was worried about. It not lining up right. But if you take your time, really take your time with that part, it'll be fine. Okay, there we go. Now, we're going to do that. Okay. Got it. Got it. Good. Okay, see? We've got our point down in there. Now what we're going to do on the back side, well, first up here near the top, we're just going to clip into this side piece here. Scissors. We're going to clip, see this little bit of an angle? What did it say? Okay. We're going to come down and clip at an angle towards the stitches, not in the stitches, just towards them on both sides. Just kind of matching that angle, just so that we have some relief down here. Okay. And then on the back side, what we're going to do is get your, where are they? I know I had them in here. I hope I didn't throw them away. I'm looking for my stabilizer point pieces. Let me see if I can find them. Bear with me. I know I put them in here. Why go through? There they are. Okay, found them. Okay, we want 2 of those. We've got 4. Okay, so that we can do all of them. Got them. Okay, so we're going to take one of our point pieces, and I'm going to have to get up in a minute and go iron this down, but that's okay. Okay, what we're doing is we're trying to get this to lay flat down here, and we're going to have to trim this so that we get a nice flat seam down there. Okay, and we're just going to trim a little bit off each side so that they lay together. Okay, so we're going to trim that. Okay, hopefully I didn't trim too much, but there we go. That's going to go in, and this is going to go on top of here. Okay, let me get the other piece done so that I can go iron them at the same time. Okay, so let's do the other one first in the same manner. Okay, so we've got our two accent pieces and our side piece. I'm going to line them up there at the top. Just clip it along. Okay, then we're going to start down here in our point. Done. Now we'll do the other side. Make sure you pull that piece out of the way so that you're not stitching over it. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to trim into that at a slight angle. And same over here. Make sure you don't cut into your stitches. Then we're going to open this up. Okay, and we're going to trim down here so that these will lay flatter. Okay. Let's see how that looks. There we go. Looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to take a second and go iron my points on here. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Forgot to tell you to trim your pieces into like a little point wedge piece. Okay, and then you've got, see how pretty that is? So excited. Okay, now, next step, now that we've clipped that, we're going to spread this open. Just these little pieces up here at the top. Clip those open. and the rest of it will fold in towards the body of the strap. Okay. And this just cuts down on some of the bulk. There we go. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we've done that. We want to flip this over, and down here where we need to use our silver marking pen or an erasable pen of some sort. But we're going to be top stitching on the panel piece or on the strap piece. So I'm going to go down here and mark my 1/8 inch seam allowance. A little bit there, because you're just going to do barely in there, just so that I have the point of where to stop and start, or where to, you know, where it's going to meet up. Okay. Do the same on this one. And there we go. Okay, got those marked. And I'll wipe those off with a wet towel here in a minute. Okay, now we're going to start up here at the top. And we're going to just do a little stitch up here at the top to hold these open. And then we're going to go down our seam, or our side piece there. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in here. It's right here at the top. Okay. And then pivot. And then just follow down to that tip. Okay, and we're going to go all the way down to that tip, and that's where we're going to pivot to come back up. Okay, we'll do one more. Let's see what comes. There we go. Okay, we're going to pivot back up. Then we're going to do the same up here when we get up to the top. I'm going to just top stitch those down a little bit. Okay. And let me get a cloth to wipe that off real quick. And then I'll show you my stitches. Isn't that pretty? Comes almost all the way to the point. And then you've got your back piece stitched down. Looks good. Stitches look good. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on this other piece. we've got those done. Beautiful. It's gorgeous. Okay, see, it's not that bad. It's not that intimidating. Did that. Now on our short piece here, we're going to install our strap keeper. And I'm going to work from the inside so that I can see my interfacing there that I put in. So I need, well, let me get this staple out of here first. And we will get a backing piece for this and 2 screws. And I might put some glue in the holes just to give the screws something to hold on to. And hopefully they won't work themselves out. Get my bowl. Oops, one too many. There we go. So let's do that. We're going to get our ruler. Okay, and there's measurements in the pattern that you're going to measure down from here to make for your placement of your strap keeper, and then also for your strap piece. The interfacing, excuse me. Okay, let me see. I've already got the center marked, and I want to go down. Okay. Make sure I've got that on the center mark. Yes. We'll mark our line. There we go. I'm going to get my piece here because it might not be exactly that measurement, but this way I can get my holes marked. So I'm going to set it here. And it looks like I need a hole there and a hole there. Okay, now I'm going to punch those holes. Okay, get my mat. I'm doing this all from this side so that I don't miss. Okay, got them. Let's see if my screws will fit through there. Yep, they do. Okay, so I'm going to get my bracket, put that on first, and try to get the screw in. There we go, nice snug fit. Grab my other screw. Put it in the bracket. There we go. Okay, got it coming through. Nice and snug. My screwdriver. Get my other screwdriver. Let's see, I have one on here. There we go, that one looks good. Where's it? This one. this side. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in each one of these. If you have some Loctite, that would be good too. I'm just going to do a little bit into each one at a time just to make sure that they're seated in there. Hold on, I can't see. There we go. Glue off my pieces. Okay, I'm going to tighten these down. There we go. Nice and snug. There we go. Looks good. Wipe all that glue off. Okay, got it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of duct tape on the back, just to hold it in place so it doesn't get away from us, so the screws don't want to work their way out. But I put enough tape or glue on there, so it should be okay. There we go. That looks good. Isn't that pretty? Looks good. Got that done. Now we will skip over to page. Done that, done that, done that. 24. Okay. This one we need the exterior pieces. So we've got our two handle pieces, and then we need our two outside pieces. And we're going to work, excuse me, with the front one first. That's the one my bag tag is on. Okay. And we're going to work with the longer strap, because the strap is going to go up and around and tuck in on the thing on this side. Okay. We make sure. Yep, that's right. What we're going to do, flip right sides together, and we're going to match up this top flat edge up here. And then we'll just clip it along all the way down, and it should match up nicely at the bottom here with this flat bit. Okay, and then we will be doing our regular seam allowance. Make sure you backstitch good at the start and the stop. I feel like I should have marked that. I'm going to mark my seam allowance because I want to make sure that all my seam allowances are lined up good. because I did, you know, I took my time on the other one, so I want to make sure that I've got them. And I'll do it on the other one too when we get ready to do that strap. Did I miss that one? No, we're good. Okay. Now, let's do that again. Clip it on, matching the flat edges at the top. Work our way down, and then at the bottom down here. Okay. And we'll do that as seam allowance. Got it. Okay. Now we will clip, like we did before, into the side seam a little bit here. Just going to clip it a little bit and then remove a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're going to fold this open with the seam going towards, let me double check. Oh, we want to do the bottom also. This will just help these lay flat when we get there. Okay. And we want the seam going towards the main panel. Flatten those pieces up at the top. You know, butterfly those open. And the same at the bottom. Okay. So we've got a butterfly up here and down at the bottom there. And we're going to top stitch along the main panel. Let's do our little butterfly thing like we did on the other side. There we go, top stitched. Now we will take the short side, and I'm going to mark my seam allowances on here also. Because I want to make sure I get them right. Okay, got those marked. Now we're going to take the short side and we're going to place it matching the tops like we did before. There we go. Now we're going to stitch that at our seam allowance. Okay, and on this piece also you're going to snip into the seam a little bit. Remove some of this. There we go. Down here at the bottom. Just don't hit your stitches. Okay. Now we're going to spread that open. Butterfly the top up here. And the bottom. Okay, and we're going to top stitch on the main panel again. Okay, I think on this one I'm going to start at the bottom. And there we go. Got the front piece on. Okay. Next, let's see. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take our back panel piece and we're going to attach it to one side. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to do it on the other side because when we do the top stitching part, it might be a little bit easier on the short strap. Because we're going to have to top stitch from inside the bag. Okay. Got that all attached. Well, I just went off the... Totally missed my line there. Let's try that again. Did I do it again? Okay, there it is. me check the bottom because I'm not too positive that I did that correctly. I think I missed my seam allowance. Let me check it. Nope, the bottom's good. Okay, just that little part right there. There we go. Got it. I just wanted my seam allowance to be good all the way down. Okay, now we're going to open that up. We're going to clip the top and the bottom like we did earlier. Okay, we're going to open that up. With our seam going towards the center. And then we're going to top stitch along that. Get my threads out of the way here. Okay, here we go. Our seam is towards the main panel, and we're top stitching on the main panel. Okay, done. Now, before we do the other side, we're going to flip it to the wrong side here because we have some marks to make along our top edges here. Get my pen. Okay. And we're going to make marks. They're in the pattern piece. And we're just going to go along and tick these marks. Oops. And just make your way around slowly. All the way around. Well, it would help if I actually marked it and I could see it, huh? There we go. We're just making, these marks are going to be, these are important because this is where our tape is going to go, because this is a drop-in lining. And we're going to be folding this to these inside lines here. Okay. Mark it here. And just take your time. Go around. And then when we get up to here, up to the strap, should be, we're just gonna, yeah, it should be fairly well centered. We're gonna angle it into that center there. See where I went? And then where that center mark is, I just angled it in there. Now I'm going to start over here on this side and work my way around. And I was told in the video, as Shanna did, you can't really take your pattern piece and do this like you kind of would in some other curved pieces, because it doesn't angle out the same. The curve is different than, you know, using your pattern piece, from what I was told. But you have the measurements, so you do you. Oops, that one was too big. Make sure you get your marks on there, your measurement. Like I said, just take your time. It's worth, you know, the pattern was written this way to make it cohesive. It's very easy to understand this part, and it just, you know, makes everything fit together the way it should. She really took her time with that. Which I don't know if I would have the patience. Okay, same over here. We're going to kind of angle it out to our center part there. Okay, I'm going to get this side done, and then we'll get our other part sewn on. I might go ahead and put my tape on here, because it would definitely be easier than trying to do it when it's all put together. Okay, that looks good. Okay, where's my tape? I'm going to go ahead and put my tape on here. Oh no, because the way they do it, up and around. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Okay, now we're going to clip these sides together, matching up our straight bit there. Looks good. Okay, now we're going to do our seam allowance here. Done. Now this is the tricky part, top stitching from inside the bag. Okay, let's clip those. Seams a little bit there. here. Okay. We're going to be top stitching onto the main panel like we did before. So butterfly those at the top and the bottom like we did on the others. Okay. Now I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. And if I can't go up all the way, I will stop with my tails long. I'll stop with my tails long and top stitch, or come in from the top. Okay. See if I can peek in here and do it. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop. And I'm going to pull out, pull my tails long, leave my tails long, so that I can tie them off at the back here. Okay, now I'm going to go in from the top here. And we'll do the same thing. Do our sides butterfly open like that. Okay. And we'll come down and meet our other stitches. Okay, there we go. We landed in the stitch. Okay, phew. Now I pulled both to the back and we will tie them off. If you have different materials, it might be a little bit easier for you to continue all the way through, because there are bags that we've done, excuse me, that you can sew all the way through. And it works out perfectly. There we go. And I'm going to trim that down. burn my threads. Melt them down a little bit. Okay, let me see if I can show you. I have to wait till we, yep, looks good. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Right in here is where I did the stitches, and you can't even tell. Okay, did that, did that, did that. Now we're going to do our base. And I've clipped the centers of the long edges and the short edges. And on the back I have a Decaville heavy, and then about an 1/8 inch shorter all the way around I have a Decaville light. Okay, so we're going to put this on, starting in our centers, and we're going to clip it. And we will be trimming into the main body piece to ease the corners around, since we don't have a gusset panel. Okay, we'll do the other side. Yeah. We're going to do all the straight pieces first, and then we will trim the curves. And we get these done first, the straight edges, and then we'll go back and check our oh no, I just realized, did I do it? I did it on this side. I sure did. I didn't do it on this side. Oh, I just realized something on my little strap here. I didn't sew it up there. Let me correct that really quick. I did it on one side, but I didn't do it on the other. A little straight bit there. Come on, there we go. Can't believe I didn't do that. It's done now. Let's get this back on there. Can't believe I did that. It's okay. It's okay. I was just getting excited, and it was no big deal. We got it worked out. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, now put that piece there. Okay. Now what we're looking at here, see how this pulls away from the corners a little bit? We're going to snip just a little bit into there to ease it into those corners. Okay. And we're just going to do some little bitty snips. No more than 1/4 inch deep, 1/4 inch apart. Okay, and see when we take this like this, that will ease up into the corner there. Okay, take that off a little bit. And I think I'm going to use some staples here because I want to make sure that these corners hang on and give us that beautiful rounded edge that we want. My stapler. And you just want to just barely, just around the top edge there. So you're not getting into the seam allowance, but it's enough to hold it on there. There we go. Okay, we're going to do the same around all 4 corners here. Okay, and one more. Right there. Okay, that one looks good. Okay, one more corner, and then we can stitch it together. I'm putting my hand up in here so I don't accidentally snip the bottom piece. There we go. Got them done. Okay. Now that we've got that stapled, we're going to start kind of in the back, one of the back straight edges. Crunch it down. Let me check my bobbin really quick. I think it's okay, but I want to double check. Yeah, we're good. We are good. When we get to these corner pieces, we'll just kind of flatten it around. Oops. And try very, very hard not to sew over your staples. Just trying to get it squished down. Come on. Okay, we're on our last corner here. I'm glad I put those staples in. Let's check it, see how well we did. I hope I got everything. I did. It looks good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these staples out, and then we're going to stitch around it again, just to the outside of that first stitch, so that when we turn it out, it'll have more strength in that seam. We won't be pulling on it. Make sure we get all these staples out. Okay, double check, make sure I got them all. I did. Okay, now you see where this seam is, or the stitch is? We're going to go just to the outside of it, right here, all the way around. Just to make sure that we've got everything. Well, just to give it more stability also. Okay, so let's start just follow your stitches around. Because of all the interfacing, depending on your materials, might be a little stiff, you know, crunching it down and everything. But everything should, you know, flatten out, ease out, however you want to say it, straighten out. Okay, see there how we have two lines of stitches all the way around. Okay, oh, you'll be fine. Okay, now that we've done that, okay, we're going to cut notches now in our curved edges, because when we turn it inside out, these corners are going to go in, you know, so we need to cut notches out. And those are just little triangular pieces. We'll use our guide here, and we're going to be cutting into the bottom also. Let's see. Okay, we're going to be cutting into the bottom corner also. We're just going to cut some notches, just some little ones. Don't hit your seams. And this just helps to ease it into the rounded shape. Gives it a nice look. broken. See? Some little notches. Don't cut your side seams. Don't cut into your stitches. Then we're going to turn this out and see how it looks. Double check, make sure I did all 4. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to turn it to the right side. I'm nervous now. I hope it looks okay. Ouch. That bottom's pretty stiff, so I'm having a little bit of issue. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it turned out so good. So good. Looks really good. Okay. Now, here's where we have to give it some squish. I'm going to clip this together right here. Throw that clip in the trash. Anyway, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to squish. Let it squish. Okay, let it sit for a little bit like that. Look at those sides. Aren't they beautiful? Gorgeous. So gorgeous. Oh. Y'all might think I'm weird, but I want to cry. I'm so happy that this part turned out good. Okay, and I'm just squishing it a little bit because it's going to sit kind of, you know, with that little shape to it. See? That looks good. Look at that bottom. Oh, oh, oh. So good. So good. So happy with that. Now, we already did our, I'm going to put this aside. We already did our magnetic bridges. So let's get those. I know I'll put them in here. Oh no, they're there. Let's check and see if the glue is dried. I think it has. We're good. Looks good. They look good. I'm happy with those. Okay, so that's on page, we're up to page 31 now. We're going to skip all of that because we already did all that. Added our magnets, did all that. Now we're going to take our outside these pieces. Should have two of those with our interfacing on there, which mine didn't stick very well. So I'm just going to put a, one side did. I'm just going to put a piece of tape right there. That's what I did on the other side. It'll be fine. I guess I just didn't use enough heat or pressure or whatever because it's been sitting for a couple days. Okay, now on the back side of these, we're going to clip. Well, first let's clip our centers up here in the curve. And along this bottom piece here. Just some little notches so we know where the centers are. Okay. Now on the back side, we're going to make our measurements, which are going to be the same curve as our other one. And we're just going to draw our curve around. Well, that pen's not, yes it did. Nope. Let's try a different one. Okay. Let's try this one. It could be because it's on this fleece. There we go. Make our marks all the way around these curved edges here. Okay. Got glue or tape on my fingernail. Same going this way. Like I said, it might seem like it takes forever to do all this, but it's the prep work you have to do if you want a nice back. Okay. Got those marked, got our centers marked. Now we need to measure down. Okay, let's see. Okay, these marks, let me find my center here. Okay, and then I want Hold on, let me read this real quick. Okay, that one, and that one. Let me double check that. Okay, we'll do that on both sides. And these are just marks for where our strap is going to go. Okay, we did that. Okay, next bit. And then we are going to mark, where's that one at? Okay, those are going to be, and then we need to do another one here. And here. There. Okay. These inside marks will be our cuts for our bridge connectors, because they're going to be going from the inside here, and they'll be coming in here, and we'll make a cut on these two inner lines. Then we will feed it through, and then we will splay it out to be. Let me double check that really quick. Hold on just a sec. Okay, I double checked. Now we're going to cut our line, just the inside lines right here, these two right here. We're going to cut those. I want to make sure that I don't overcut. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm going to use my straight blade, I think. That one's a bit curved. It throws me off a bit. So I'm going to use this blade and my ruler to make sure I get it nice and straight. Yep. Okay, and then we'll cut this one. Okay, that looks good. Looks good. Whoops, almost lost him. Okay. Just a little bit more. Looks good. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim a little bit of that fleece away so that it's not interfering with our holes. So I'm just going to trim a little bit on both sides of that cut. Just so that the piece lays nicely. Okay, did that one. Let's do this one. And then we will place the bridge connectors in there. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of them. And we want to make sure that this long edge is facing down. Okay, so that when you look into the bag, you're seeing this, you're not seeing your raw edge there. Okay, so we want it facing down, and we're going to put it in these holes here in our slots. Both sides with the magnet facing out. Okay, there we go. And we'll just fuss with that a little bit and get it straightened out. But we're going to put some tape where these lines are. And our strap, we'll tape it down to there. Okay. And that line, that second line that we put on there, is where this strap is going to lay. There we go. And the same with this one on this side. Okay, we'll pull that out a little bit. So they're laying flat on the back here. Okay. And then what we're going to be doing is top stitching along this edge over, well, on both of them actually. But first, okay, let's do the other side, because we're going to put our magnetic strap, magnetic back pieces. We're going to glue those on there, or tape them. We might just tape them down. Okay, so there's that one. Let's put this one in. And remember, you want the folded edge facing down to the bottom of the bag. Get in there. I really like the red thread on there. Okay, now tape on the edge here. I'm going to pull our strap to that tape. And the same on this side. Okay. There we go. Looks good. Now I'm going to use some of my big honking tape here. And I'm just going to tape that magnetic piece down. Right across there. Come on. There we go. Place it right there. And we're going to be stitching that down too, so it'll be fine. Okay, let's do the other one. Okay, there we go. Now we've got those done. Tuck that in just a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to top stitch those right along the edge. Oops. Put my Okay, we're going to top stitch it right along, like 1/8 inch away from that edge. Okay, that one's done. Let's do this one. And this side. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of rivets through those pieces to hold them down. Okay, so I'm going to mark those. Where's my pen? Okay. We will do, let's see, right there. Right there. Okay, I'm going to punch those holes really quick. Okay, got that. Get our rivets out. And then next we'll be moving on to the pocket piece, or lining pocket piece, that is. The cap on. And this just helps to hold the magnetic bridge in more securely. I got it stitched down, but always, you know, you're going to be using that a lot. There we go. Okay, we'll get those riveted down, and then we'll move on. Rivet those down really quick. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna go get me some lunch. Okay, there we go. We've got those pieces riveted together. Look how cute that is. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna go get some lunch and I will be back momentarily.